Wednesday, November 24th, 1971, 2 p.m., Portland International Airport. The sky was loaded with heavy storm clouds drifting inland from the Pacific Northwest. Inside the terminal stood a tall man in a black suit and thin tie, holding a small briefcase. He checked in under the name Dan Cooper. No one knew that this name would soon become the most famous airborne mystery in American history. 2:48 p.m., boarding. Dan Cooper boarded a Boeing 727-100, operated by Northwest Orient Airlines, an aircraft known for its unique rear air stair that could be deployed mid-flight, a detail he would later use. He took seat 18C near the aft cabin. He barely spoke, ordering only a whiskey and soda. 3:05 p.m., minutes after takeoff. Cooper handed flight attendant Florence Schaffner a note. She assumed it was a phone number, until he whispered, "Miss, I have a bomb." A quick glance into his briefcase revealed wires and red cylinders. In that moment, the entire flight changed. 3:12 p.m., over Vancouver, Washington. Schaffner relayed the message to Captain William Scott. In the cockpit, the crew made their decision. Keep him calm. Comply. The aircraft descended to 10,000 feet, tension tightening across the cabin. 3:22 p.m. Cooper stated his demands to the second flight attendant, Tina Mucklow. $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck waiting in Seattle. No shouting, no panic. He spoke like someone executing a well-studied plan. 3:30 p.m. over the Cascade Mountains. Air traffic control in Seattle received the hijack report and immediately redirected the flight. Captain William Scott and First Officer Bob Ratfield quietly debated altitude, fuel, and return path. In the rear cabin, attendants Tina and Florence struggled to hide their anxiety. Passengers sensed something was off. The descent felt too slow, too low. 5:39 p.m., Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. The plane rolled to a stop surrounded by police cruisers and FBI agents. Cooper sat motionless in seat 18C, watching every flashing light, every agent, every fuel truck. His hand stayed on the briefcase, an unspoken reminder of who controlled the moment. 5:45 p.m. FBI agent Bob Pitt approached carrying a heavy brown bag. Inside were 10,000 $20 bills gathered from multiple Seattle banks. Cooper inspected them not by counting, but by weight and feel, like a man familiar with handling large sums. Outside, FBI cameras captured the exchange discreetly, unseen by passengers. 5:50 p.m. The front door opened, and all 36 passengers filed out. Some complained about delays, unaware they had just survived the most iconic hijacking in U.S. history. Cooper didn't watch them leave. He was busy organizing the parachutes behind seat 18C, studying them like equipment for an upcoming test. 6:10 p.m., heavy rain over Seattle. Winds picked up, visibility fell below a mile. ATC warned the crew that the incoming storm would make flying extremely dangerous. But Cooper gave a faint smile, telling Tina, "Tonight is perfect." The storm, it seemed, was part of his plan. 7:40 p.m., after full refueling. Cooper refused to leave the aircraft and ordered an immediate second takeoff. He dictated a specific route, southbound toward Nevada. It was clear he didn't want any ground confrontation. The second phase of his plan had begun. 7:55 p.m. Cooper turned off every aft cabin light, closed the curtains, and sent Tina to the cockpit. Alone now with the parachutes, the money, and the rear stair mechanism, he tested the latch, checked the angle, felt the airflow. Not the actions of a desperate man, but of someone trained. 8:02 p.m., second takeoff. The Boeing 727 climbed through a violent storm, its wings shuddering. The crew heard equipment shifting in the rear cabin, signs that the hijacker was preparing. The cockpit remained locked, no one allowed to look back. 8:10 p.m., near the Lewis River. Cooper gave his final instructions through the interphone. Maintain 170 knots, altitude 10,000 feet, landing gear half extended. Illogical for a passenger aircraft, perfect for a parachute jump. The crew realized he wasn't just a hijacker, he understood aviation. 8:15 p.m. Only a faint overhead light remained, casting a glow over the ransom bag. Tina heard soft footsteps, fabric unfolding, and harness straps tightening. Cooper had gone silent, fully locked into a military-like focus. 8:20 p.m. He secured the money bag to his chest with spare cords and selected an NB6 parachute, a model commonly used in military jumps. He checked the main ripcord, glanced at the rear door. This was not his first jump.
8:30 p.m. Cockpit warning. The light, aft stairs open, illuminated. The pilots felt a sudden pressure drop and heard wind roaring through the cabin. Cooper was now standing on the staircase, one hand on the railing, the other gripping the cords. 8:32 to 8:33 p.m. over dense Washington forests. The crew felt a heavy jolt near the tail, an impact or a jump. The air stair bounced slightly upward. That was the last trace of him. Cooper had leaped into the storm, carrying the money, leaving no sign of survival. 8:45 p.m. Ground radar tried to catch any falling object, but the storm erased every signature. No heat, no parachute, no silhouette. The potential landing area stretched 20 to 25 miles. Yet nothing human was ever found within it. 9 p.m., Portland Airport. FBI agents swept the aircraft. Seat 18C was empty, the air stair scratched, and several fingerprints unmatched to any known individual. From that night on, the Cooper mystery never landed. He left behind one question. Did he survive or vanish into the storm forever?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.